Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to a very special episode of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. Or today we are Doctor Who podcast, I guess. I am your host, Alberto. No worries, Oti, our co-host, will be here shortly. He's on his way. But yeah, it's Star Wars Saturday, but actually it is a Doctor Who Saturday today. If you guys know, we've been talking, maybe there's no Star Wars news, just to take a little week off, a little break. It's Christmas time, there's a lot of things going on, so we're going to be taking a break anyways. But Ote, I can't wait for him to get here because he got into Doctor Who finally after I don't know how many times we talked about it here. I think he watched the whole first series with the Ninth Doctor with Eccleston. So we're gonna talk all about that today, and of course, Wild Blue Yonder, the new episode that dropped earlier today. We'll talk a lot about all that and a little bit of Star Wars stuff, not much. Just as always, if you guys are watching us today, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes when they drop, hopefully every Saturday. Or if we take a break, when we come back, you'll get notified. Like this video. And if you're watching us later in the recap, make sure to subscribe and to leave us a comment down below about any topics that we talk about today or anything else you might want us to know about or talk about. And if you're listening to this on the other podcast, as always, thank you so much. And make sure to leave us, if you can, a rating, review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I don't know, wherever you listen, Good Pods, wherever you listen to. But we're going to get into that in a few minutes when Oti gets here. Like I said, no real Star Wars news. We might talk about some trailers. A lot of trailers dropped today. Today's episode is all about a war between fandoms, everything outside of Star Wars. Star Wars related, the Bad Batch season 3, there's a lot of, I don't say a lot of buzz, but people are thinking that a trailer or at least a release announcement might be happening soon. The Star Wars Twitter account, which usually doesn't post a lot of Bad Batch media or anything out there, posted something like, oh, we're at the end of the year or whatever. Can't remember exactly what the post was about, but they used an image from the Bad Batch, so people started getting hyped for that. The Kind of Brothers, I think yesterday, really posted a post saying that they're almost done finishing mixing the season 3 of the Bad Batch. So there's a little bit of buzz for Bad Batch going on. Some people are saying that Skeleton Crew is getting pushed to later in the year, so maybe Bad Batch goes a little bit earlier, and also Acolyte, which I wouldn't be opposed to. Well, I think Bad Batch might be a little bit closer than we think. All right, so let's see who's out there today. A couple of comments, guys. Our friend Alan is here. Alan Ching. What's that groaning noise? What's that groaning noise, right? I don't know. All right, and Dale. How you doing, Dale? Thanks for being here. And our friend Brennan is also here. All right, what do you mean, Dale? Your notifications aren't sticking on my list for some reason, so would have been a little early. I don't know. It's YouTube. Don't trust. I tried. Well, sometimes I'm being clicking if I'm on my personal account. I just go to our videos. Yeah, I do it. Everyone does it to give it an extra view and a thumbs up. It's not taking my thumbs up. It just pops up and no thumbs up for you. Alonzi, Alan, like they said, I love that. Don't know what got to say it today. All right. So we'll hear when that gets announced, the Bad Batch. Yes, and hopefully the Bad Batch, which season 2, which for me had some ups and downs. I think I'll go into this season very open-minded. I'm gonna put all my stuff aside for Bad Batch season 3. Very excited when that drops. All right. So talking about Star Wars, no news, like I said, but I was fortunate enough to receive from Penguin Random House Penguin Random House Audio, the new audiobooks for Outbound Flight and Survivor's Quest, both Legends book by Timothy Zahn, more Thrawn, which I've kind of been on the downcline, but I'll take it. Of course, narrated by Mark Thompson. And I started Outbound Flight. I think this book originally came out in 2006, maybe 2009. I think it's 2006. But it's the first time I think that's a full audiobook with all the music and the special effects. I'm like 4 or 5 chapters in, really enjoying it. This is a new throne. Of course, it's not the throne from all the canon throne books. So far so good, and what's going on in the Republic and the Jedi and all that. It's very interesting. So hopefully I'll finish that soon, and then I'll have a full review for it here, and then I'll start Survivor's Quest in a few days or a couple of weeks, I would say. All right, and again, for everyone out there, if you have any questions or comments about anything we'll be talking about, let us know on the comments. And also, like I said when we started, Oti has got into Doctor Who, so he's here. We're gonna do a full on. I don't want to say full on because it's been a while since I watched it. We're gonna do a full discussion about Series 1 that returned to what's called known as New Who. So Oti's gonna. I can't wait to see what he says. All right. So while we wait, if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Doctor Who in a world between fandoms. All right, a world between fandoms. I can't believe I tried to change the name of the podcast for today or something. I don't know. It's not Star Wars. It's still all the stuff that we love. And like I said, at the end of this, we'll talk a bunch of trailers dropped today. House of the Dragon Season 2, The Boys Season 4 trailer, Fallout from the video game also dropped, and an update announcement for the final season of Star Trek Discovery Season 5. I think it's coming out in April. So, and I think a little clip also, like a 30-second or a 1-minute clip drop. So, a lot to talk about at the end of A World Between Fandoms. Yeah, Alan, you're right. Every season of Doctor Who is season 1. I heard people complain you can't call it season 1 because season 1, then it's the original Doctor Who. If not, you have to call it series 1, which is what we're going to try to call it. I just call it season 1. And yes, the Furiosa trailer dropped today. I want to hear Oti's views on it. I know he was very hype on it on Twitter when it dropped. And I watched it. I wasn't over the moon like everyone. Probably have to watch it again. I think I watched it on the TV. I thought it was just on my computer, but I did watch it on the TV. So we'll see. All right, so let's start with Wild Blue Yonder, the second episode of these 60th anniversary specials. We had the first one last week with the Star Beast. Now we have this one today. They already released a small trailer, a small clip of the last one for next weekend. Man, it's gonna be sad to see David Tennant again can leave and regenerate. But very excited for the new season when it drops, or the new series, or whatever we're gonna call it. But so this episode today, Wild Blue Yonder, as we know, last week ended with the Doctor and Donna going into the new TARDIS, and Donna saying, "Oh, this is how I got fired from my job because I dropped this cup of coffee on my boss's computer." And she goes and drops the whole cup on the TARDIS console. The TARDIS goes crazy, starts spewing fire everywhere, and just takes them off. So this starts, it's very Doctor Who. Let's go to 1666, to a big important event with a famous person, like Donna says a couple of minutes later that, do you said that to famous people? It's with Isaac Newton, who's not Sir Isaac Newton at the moment, sitting under a tree, and then an apple falls on his head, and he starts getting a little, what might this be? And of course, it's the TARDIS that landed on the apple tree, causing the fall of the apple, and gravity, mamity, shimamity, whatever they were saying. So very cool episode, start to the episode, and then they just kind of fly off he thinks they're going back home because Donna wants to be there. She just left her daughter, her mother, and everyone, and her husband over there. But they end up in this space station. It just crashes in this space station. And I gotta say, I love just TV shows and movies that happen in space station. They're so trippy, so different, because it's all have to do with mental things. People being in space station for too long start to go crazy. We've had multiple episodes of Doctor Who that happen on space stations or derelict ships, and those are some of my favorites because you're in a closed environment, minimal cast. Here, the whole episode, the actual without the Isaac Newton thing, everything is just the Doctor and Donna. So Catherine Tate and I just forgot the doctor's name. You'll put it and just scream at me for a little bit. David Tennant. It's just them. So we've talked here and about other movies and TV shows and episodes about just minimal cast, how it just focuses on one or two characters, and that's just great. And this is just the two of them just taking the lead and carrying this whole episode 45 minutes or whatever it was, like 50 minutes actually. But I love, like I was saying, I love every episode that happens on a space station because it's usually something very personal that you have to deal with. And this episode was the same. So they get there, the TARDIS says, you know what, I'm tired of you guys crashing me everywhere and dumping coffee on me. He just yeeted it out of them. And Otis here, we'll let him.
Your life gets in the way sometimes.
And it's just like Otis right now was the TARDIS, just crashing into that space station out of nowhere. Otis, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I've had a very crazy day. I'm currently without a phone. I texted you from my iPad, and it's been wild, but whatever. I'm okay.
All right. You missed the intro. I did a new intro, the ending. All right, you'll have to go back and watch it. So
what's up?
I don't know. Everything. There's trailers every 5 minutes. There's a new movie trailer, a TV show trailer dropping. Not about Star Wars, but
I'm without a phone, so I have no idea what's happened. I saw the House of the Dragon one. I saw the Doctor Who special, but I don't know what has happened today.
All right, so I was gonna talk about it at the end, but if you haven't watched them, I mean, we're gonna talk about the House of Dragon ones, but the Fallout trailer also dropped, and
that one dropped a couple of days ago.
No, I think it was today.
I saw something. I don't know if it was a teaser or something. If there's a new trailer that I haven't seen, but I saw like a couple clips.
It's a full trailer, 2.5 minutes.
Okay, no, I don't think it was that long.
So
maybe was it just pictures?
They released a couple of pictures yesterday, I think, like 2 or 3 with the just announcing the cast or the robot armor. I played Fallout once, so I don't know the whole story. I know it's this post-apocalyptic world and the big boy or whatever the little kid is in all the promotions.
You might lose me for a second. Let's see.
Here we go, as always. And the boys.
No, you didn't
You're
lose
there.
Me. Okay.
Right.
Oh, the boys trailer was coming out today. How was it?
Yeah, it's good. It's the voice is extremely political, up to date to what's happening, and with the ending of last season, it kind of peaks right there with the countries divided, and you need to bring everyone just to fighting, and then you're the one to save the day, and then you're the hero.
So wait, you were talking about the special right now, the Doctor Who special?
I started talking about the special. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that. We'll talk about the trailers later.
All right, so. Wild Blue Yonder, Otti, I just kind of talk a little bit about Sir Isaac Newton, or he wasn't Sir Isaac Newton at that point, just Isaac Newton, and then when they were crashing into the space station. But before that, I was saying how much I love TV shows and movies that happen in space stations. It's this close quarter environment. Usually it's minimal cast. This whole episode was just the two of them that carried everything. And it usually has to do with people losing their minds and having to do with something very personal that they have to solve. And I know you just started watching Doctor Who finally. I'm so excited to talk about that first season. But there's a lot of episodes that happen on space stations or derelict ships, and they're all great. Some of my favorites. So this one ranks right there. So just initial impression for Wild Blue Yonder.
I liked it a lot. I think it's interesting because since I've seen like a whole season now of the show, I'm starting to get the feel of how it's gonna work. Last with the first special, I was like, "Where is this going? Like, how does this move?" But yeah, no, I like Wild Blue Yonder. It's Wild Blue Yonder.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I guess it's a song. I didn't know it was a song.
I liked it a lot because it felt like a bottle episode because it's really just Donna and the Doctor in a station. That's really all that's going on, and there's another creature, but it's also Donna and the Doctor. And through that we get some very interesting conversations between them. So I think it was a very like clever episode to pull off. I really liked it, and it did something that it's one of the things that has hooked me with the show. I love how with all the craziness and silliness, the show still stops for a minute to
Yeah.
think about what's happened, and I love that this episode is basically all about how are you doing with everything that's happened, which I don't know about because I'm starting to catch up. But it's like, I can see it. This guy has been doing this for forever, basically.
Yeah, and it's that part, and you won't know because what they reference the flux and the tablet shot.
That has to do with Jodie, right?
Yeah, and like the last season of her. So this is you're like 12 seasons still to catch up, and they didn't hanker on that a lot, but it was a comment, which is great because a lot of people had been complaining. Oh, now that Russell T Davies is coming back, they're erasing Whitaker and the 13th Doctor, and this is no. And this is the second episode that the Doctor kind of at the beginning at some point, wait, am I doing this now? First, kind of saying this, and kind of putting people and the fans in the mood that okay, the next Doctor, which is played by a gay actor, we might go there. As when Donna said, "Oh, I didn't know Sir Isaac Newton was hot." Yeah, it's very hot. Wait, this? I'm like, yeah. She's like, what? You haven't caught that? I always thought there was something, and then the TARDIS started leaving, which is something that has happened before, but not to this extent.
By the way, did you notice the Mavity thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought that was gonna be like the big reveal that it's because with Eccleston, I noticed they tease things like little by little. But I wonder if that's just is that just gonna be like a running gag or something?
So I'm in the same boat. I thought it was gonna have because he said gravity, and this is like what? Oh, Mavity. So I thought that we're gonna play into that a little bit more. And it might be something just got planted today, and it will get resolved in the future. Because, like you said, you've seen it with Eccleston. It just happens to the whole Doctor Who. So I wouldn't be surprised if that plays out because I thought if it was just a gag, it would have been a little bit more noticeable. Because it just came out of nowhere. So, but we'll see.
Newton says it, but
they're left already.
The Doctor says it like once
first, yeah.
No. Like near the end.
Once they've left.
Near the end of the episode, he says Mavity like randomly, like, and it's just like natural. So
yeah, so I don't know if it will be something that because when they get back to Earth at the end of the episode, things have gone to hell. So who knows if maybe they made a change or in the past and now it's catching up with them. I love this episode. I don't want to start saying if I love this one more than the other one, but maybe it's rose-colored glasses because I just watched it.
It was like it was very different to
the
previous one. Again, this felt like I like it. I liked it because it was more personal. I think it leans into a different aspect of the show.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm talking about this.
Yeah, we'll get through this so we can then jump into why are we doing even a show today? Because
I'm like beside myself that I'm talking about Doctor Who.
Dude, I'm so happy finally. I can't believe what Tony's feeling right now.
No, and I have this is funny. I have another friend, and I taught her all about expanded universe Star Wars because she was just a movies person, and I remember I was like, I don't know if you're gonna be into this, but there's an animated show. I think you could be receptive to it. And she watched it and she loved it, and then she jumped to Rebel. So she's my go-to person to just like day-to-day talk about Star Wars. So now she's happy that I'm finally getting into Doctor Who because she's a huge Whovian.
Yes, a Whovian. Talking about expanded universe and legends, I mentioned before I got advanced audio files because they're not copies of Outbound Flight and Survivor's Quest. So I'm like 4 episodes into Outbound Flight, back with Son and with Thrawn. But this is a very different Thrawn than the one from the canon books, at least right now. So
are you liking it?
Yes.
I told you. I stopped reading Heir to the Empire. I hope to finish it after I finish Eye of Darkness. But it felt like a very different Timothy Zahn, and I actually was quite liking what I was reading.
Yeah, so far so good. Plus, I like that there's an angle with the Jedi and the Republic, and this is between 5 years after the Phantom Menace, so the Clone Wars haven't started, but there's a lot going on. So I'm very interested to keep going. But Wild Blue Yonder, I love also when there's some creature or something. It's not there because they don't know something's happening. They didn't count down, which the Doctor, yes, I told you the first thing I said was countdown. I knew it. But because it's not a review, it's that like every great horror thing does, right? It preys on your fears. You don't know what's following you. Yeah, there's a sound and the ship is moving. There's a very slow robot that's not doing anything. But then playing with the reveal of the other two, those copies, which you'll get to eventually. There's an episode called Midnight, which is also one of my favorites. Kind of similar ideas in terms of copies. But I love that. I love how weird they are at the beginning when they start. My arms are too long, and then running just like
like
dogs or whatever.
creatures.
Yeah, so creepy. But it makes it so interesting. And then I love all the scenes trying to figure out who's the real doctor, the real Donna. All those are great. And I love the tie gag. Oh, where's your tie? Oh, yeah, I dropped it on the floor. Oh, but right. Things keep existing even when you drop it. So great.
I something I've noticed from the show, like whenever there's a mystery to the characters, the show puts the audience in the same mystery and keeps you guessing. I actually appreciated that, and yeah, the mystery was very well played out, and every time there was a reveal, it was very clever. Like the whole tie thing, like that was genius.
And it's also because the doctors usually are the smartest person in the room or the cleverest person, but then the more he thinks to try to fix a problem, then the other doctors start figuring out, and the more you think, then I can think also. And when they start just bouncing back and forth between the division to the cockpit, again, just great writing.
I love that when he figures out that they can't think, he's like, "Don't think, Donna, don't think," and it's like, dude, you're the one that needs to think because that's like your whole thing.
Yeah, and they start asking them questions to get them to think. When they see the pilot, just why did he open the I love it. I love the horse face that was just floating around the skeleton horse, and like, I want to see that guy. Just bring it back, or girl, because it was a her. I want to see the horse pilot in a spaceship. Horse captain. And then at the end, I love that we got to see Wilfred finally. Great, because I also love the meme. Everything for Donna it's one thing to get back, right? She didn't want to leave because every time I leave, something happens. And of course, something happened, but it's just getting back to her family. And she's like, well, Rose will probably visit, and then she'll go do other things, and she'll visit once a year. And then eventually she'll kind of trail off. And what about Wilfred? Oh, he'll be there waiting on his wheelchair with his cup of coffee, or thermos, which he also had in the other season. And that's what we find. And she's like, I told you. Very emotional, especially when you see those episodes, when you see him come back, or originally, then you'll get those emotions on the other end. But a great reveal, and then of course everything is going to hell. So, and also I know Donna wasn't gonna die. So you're not gonna bring him back to kill her. But it was very interesting that they waited till the end to say, "Oh yeah, we tricked you," and the other Donna is actually the one on the TARDIS. So I'm like, yeah, it's exploding. It's an extremely long hallway. I don't know. Something might happen. So she wasn't going to die, but it did kind of trick me a little bit. Did you think anything might happen to her? Or
I didn't really like that fake out because she's not going to die. For a little second, I was like, is that really Donna? Like I wasn't sure, but I don't know. I would have liked the doctor to grab her and be like, too long, just let it go. Calm down.
Yeah, maybe that right when she gives her hand, that might have been better. But all in all, I loved it. And we'll talk about we talk about season 1, a lot of special effects. They're getting a lot better.
Alberto. I was watching the Christmas special of the first season this morning, night and day.
I mean, it's been 15 years, so of course it's ending.
I was watching Bat Wolf yesterday, which is also on a space station. Again, night and day.
But I'll wait. I'll say my comments when we talk about that series 1. So there's already a clip for next week's episode. We see that toy maker. We see Neil Patrick Harris there. He's like, "Oh, Doctor, we meet again." I don't know where this is going. I know a lot of people are waiting for cameos. That's a big staple of all these big anniversaries. There was one, I think, the 50th year when Matt Smith was the doctor during the anniversary.
That's
Then
the one.
David Tennant showed up. Sorry?
That's the one with the War Doctor and
Yeah. Well,
everyone comes
also
back.
Tennant showed up there. And so you
Mhm.
have like three doctors working at the same time. And it's great because it's the three there at those different stages. So everyone's waiting to see what's going to happen. The way it's set up, I don't know if it fits having another doctor, but I haven't seen any leaks, any rumors, so very excited for next week. All right. So with that, let's go to series one, Oti. So last week we talked about how you were giving Doctor Who another chance. You've tried it before, it hadn't worked, but you were gonna watch this season because you made this deal with Tony. He watched House of the Dragons. You're watching this one. And I think, and you said you really enjoyed it. And the next day, you're like, here we go. I'm pressing play on series one. I'm gonna go see some some mannequins come to life. So where did this all come from on this journey that you've
I'll,
had us for a week?
I'll tell you. I wasn't thinking of giving the show another chance. I was just I told Tony we're just doing the specials. And my promise was if I like it, I'll keep watching until
Yeah.
I don't like it. And this was on Saturday. On Monday we do our review on our podcast, and I said it's recorded. It's there. I said that I was not thinking of watching the show from the beginning. Like this wasn't like we're getting back together thing. It's not that.
It's a farewell tour.
So I go to work. I didn't have a bad day. I had a long day. Like I got home and I was reading Eye of Darkness. That's what I was doing in my free time. And when I got home, I made dinner. I sat down and read. I was like, I don't want to read. I don't want to think. And that's when I was like, oh no, I'm gonna click play, aren't I? And I didn't even text anyone because I didn't want to get anyone excited. So I just like sat down and started like where is it streaming, because I thought it was in Disney Plus. It wasn't. Then I went to Netflix. It wasn't. It's in Max. And I played the first episode and I took a picture of it. I'm gonna wait until it's done just in case, because I remember playing that episode and 15 minutes in being like, it's not for me. And I watched it. I was like, okay, it's time. And I sent you the picture. I sent it to Tony. I sent it to my other friend. And they were like, no way. Like, oh.
Yeah.
And again, I was just like, maybe that's just like a today thing. Then the other day came and I was like, yeah, I guess I'll watch it. And then here I am. Already did my first regeneration.
Oh, man. I want to talk at the end about. And you haven't gone to the next season, right? You just finished. You watched.
I watched the first one when the last human Cassandra comes back.
Oh man! So now that you've watched it, or at least at the beginning, because the first few episodes, they're not the greatest. Right? You got walking mannequins. You have the stretched out Cassandra, just a piece of skin, and the Eye of Bo is very weird, and Mickey the Idiot getting shoved into a trash can and all those stuff. But I don't know what was going through your mind just watching, or what changed, I guess, from the other times you've tried to watch it to now saying, I'm going to give it a chance and just basically binging a whole season in a couple of days?
I actually tweeted about this. I've been thinking about it. I think it has to do a lot with how I've changed in the way I think about Star Wars. I think the last time I tried to watch Doctor Who has to be 2017, which was right around that time when I started changing the way I see Star Wars and embracing the silliness and all the non-cool aspects of the franchise. So I think maybe this time around I'm more open to the ridiculous and maybe even enjoy it. But I did like a very conscious thing about the first episode. I was like, for every like ridiculous thing that I see, that's like, what am I watching? I was trying to focus on things I liked. And there was a very early moment I loved. And it was the introduction of the Doctor. Like I think it's brilliantly done, because you have Rose pinned down against all the mannequins. All of a sudden a hand shows up, says run, and we get the Doctor and Rose running, which is basically the show.
Yeah.
So when I saw, I knew it's basically a show. So I was like, this is genius. Like, this is a great introduction. And then there were other little moments, like the reveal of the TARDIS, like that first introduction. It reminded me a little bit of the Falcon in Force Awakens when they just like run by it.
Yeah.
So we get Rose running by it. And the episode that made me be like, I love this, like, was the one with the Daleks. Like, I love that absurd piece of thing.
With the plunger and that. But it's a great reveal, that Dalek one in the dark room with just a blue eye, not talking.
The minute I saw the blue light, I knew what it was. But like the soap, I'm the Doctor, I'm here to help. And it's like, Doctor. The Doctor. I was like, oh.
And how the Doctor changes, right? From I'm here to help to no, I'm gonna kill you like I killed everyone else. Yeah, like, the way he Eccleston says Dalek, I think is the best one of everyone. Dalek,
and he just hates them. Like, I don't know. Like that was the episode that had me like, okay, I'm in, and I love the show. Like that's all I can say. I love it. I'm excited to stop this podcast and continue watching. I'll say it. I ordered comics already. Like
wow. I gotta get into the novels. I know there's a bunch of novels. I gotta get into some of those.
I love Christopher Eccleston. I love him. So I saw Kevin Scott wrote his run. So I was like, yes, immediate buy.
So I wanna, once you get into season 2, I wanna, because I was the same when I got into Doctor Who. This was Matt Smith was already the Doctor, and he was probably, I don't know, 1 or 2 seasons since, I don't know. It was people on Facebook just fighting and arguing who was their Doctor. Was it Matt Smith or David Tennant, the 10th or the 11th? They're just arguing, and I kind of knew a little bit about the Doctor. I didn't know the whole thing. I said, you know what, I'm gonna watch it. I think it was in Amazon Prime at that point. This is 2012, 2013 or something. And I started with Eccleston, obviously. And when that season ended, he regenerated to David Tennant. I was like, no, I don't want this skinny guy. I don't want him. Eccleston's my Doctor. And it took me like skinny man, like 4 episodes or more to say, okay, I'll give you a shot. Because I was, no, I love this guy. I hate that he left so early. But then it's the same thing when David Tennant goes into Matt Smith. I love Tennant. It's my favorite one. And I'm like, Matt Smith, get the hell out of my TV screen. 3 episodes in, dude, I love you. Don't leave me. So it's a power to this character that different actors can play them. And they play them differently, but you still resonate with every one of them.
I've been thinking a lot about all of this. Where to go? I think it has a lot to do with James Bond. Like, for example, I think everyone has like who they think of when you think of James Bond, and then you have your favorite. It could overlap. Hi, Mo. For example, whenever I think of James Bond, I think of Pierce Brosnan. Like, that's the person who will come to my mind. But my favorite James Bond is Daniel Craig because he's the best. So I think that also happens. And for me, like when I was first aware of Doctor Who, David Tennant was the Doctor. Matt Smith was the Doctor. So for me, that is who I think of when I think of Doctor Who. Him and Peter Capaldi, funny, because it was like right around when that regeneration was about to happen. So, but since I've tried to see the show a couple of times in a couple different spots, like I don't really have that fear of jumping to another Doctor because I know what I'm gonna get. Like, but it was fun because since I hadn't seen much of Eccleston, I really appreciated it because I had no expectation for it, and nobody really talks about him. But I saw a lot of what David Tennant does in his version, and I was like, this guy is basically the mold for the modern Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they reference each other, like the War Doctor, and remember how you were when this happened. And you see some of those idiosyncrasies kind of pop up once in a while. And you get introduced to a lot of cool characters in season 1, recurring characters. Borrowman. I just forgot his name. The other time
Oh,
traveler,
Captain Jack.
Jack Harness. I love that episode. I told you the.
I
You
don't really
didn't.
like him that much.
I really liked those episodes. They were very creepy. Poor kids with
Oh
the
no,
gas
wait,
mask.
no. I like the empty child. I just don't like Jack.
Oh
And
no,
I don't hate him. I just don't like him.
Jack. It's like no. He'll show up throughout the whole season,
Yeah,
all the
I know.
seasons, and he's someone that's very fluid. He will go with whoever, so that's also that
Oh,
plays into everything.
I
And
know
there's a
that.
huge reveal like 4 or 5 seasons into that. You'll see if you how you get it. But I love his introduction. Right, it's Rose is falling down. She's gonna die in the middle of this attack in World War II, and then he just saves her. And then in the London Tower, then just in his spaceship. But what I was gonna say, talking about CGI and stuff, is like I watched Doctor Who. One of the reasons I love it, I do it like I do Star Trek. Like I don't follow anyone for Doctor Who. I don't go to YouTube to see people's reviews. I don't listen to Doctor Who podcast. I do it for myself.
You
If
do
I
it for
enjoy it, I enjoy it. So whatever. So yeah, the CGI is bad. It takes like 10 seasons to get to a point that you say, okay, but I don't care. It's the story that counts. So the CGI is bad. But they do great creature work. All their creature designs are awesome. And you see the last week with the Meep and the other guys. And all throughout when you get to the Dalek, even, the Dalek is stupid. But it works. It works for this. And there's so many more coming that you'll enjoy.
I love the Slovene.
Oh,
Slovene.
yes, the thing, yeah.
Wow. Like, wow.
Yeah. You got three creatures fighting and just putting human costumes on top. It's so stupid, but it works, right?
I love when you see them like try to put the costume on, like with those huge feet.
So yeah, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I can't remember why. I know there's a bunch of theories or why Eccleston left, because it was around the time he was gonna do Thor: Dark World, I think. But I don't know if he had issues with the creative team or he just didn't want to do it anymore. But I'm a little bummed that he didn't get to play him a little bit longer.
I was actually talking to Tony when I started to like really appreciate his version of the character, and I'm gonna tell you what I remember him telling me. He told me something that he had like a lot of behind the scenes issues. Apparently they didn't really like trust him to carry the show, so they only gave him like a 1-year contract. He told me something that even like David Tennant was cast like either right after or before Rose aired. Apparently they didn't really feel comfortable like with him as a Rose, so Tony told me like he kind of like distanced himself from the whole lore and everything. And that's just something I want to say. Like I know I just got off the high of watching the first season, but I would love him to come back. Like it's the same thing with Star Wars. I love it when characters that had a bad time with not characters, actors who had a bad time with the franchise find that peace within it. And it doesn't really have to mean I'm coming back to play the character. That's always awesome, but just like understand the appreciation that the fans have for them.
And I think that part he gets, because the fans have always been on his side. No one's been forget about him. So
that's something Tony was telling me, that he was like a bit distant at the beginning, but is now like coming around to it. So I kind of thought of it kind of like like Natalie Portman, who's been really like Star Wars, I don't know, but recently has more open to talking about it. So we still need it at Celebration, though.
Oh man, eventually, man, it should be in Japan. Bat Wolf, you like the Bat Wolf review?
So I was glad that I knew that there was something, and you spoiled it last week, and Tony spoiled it on Monday, but it was just so convoluted that
we didn't know you were gonna watch it.
No, but I didn't remember that. I spaced out when you guys talked about it. Like this entity that lives in the TARDIS and goes. What are you talking about? So it's still, but I was glad that I was aware, because I caught all the little references.
Yeah,
even when they show up, like take up half your screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that payoff was awesome. Like
Yeah.
when those doors opens and she comes out and he's like, no, go, and he's like, she's like, shut up, I am the Bat Wolf.
Yeah. I remember seeing that the first time. And then you'll start seeing now why in Starbeast, when he hears the name Rose, why he
No,
goes,
I love her, and I know
yeah,
it's gonna be sad when it ends, and it's a whole thing. I'm getting emotionally ready, but I love Billie Piper as this
she's great.
character.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's gonna be my hard time because I don't know the other.
Hmm.
I don't really know the other companions. I just know the doctors. So
Yeah.
I think like switching companions is gonna be like hard for me.
Yeah. We'll talk about it when you get there. But
But
I
yeah,
love that this show, again, 13 years, 14 years now, there's all those things that still connect. We talk about in Star Wars, oh, they made a reference to that Clone Wars episode or what, and sometimes people, I love, yeah, but if you didn't watch that, what do you know? It's like, the here is like, I don't know, feels different, maybe because we don't talk about it every week. But I love that you can catch those references. Sometimes there's reference to original Doctor Who that I don't know about, but other people, oh, those are great, and then
I
it keeps playing. So,
there I don't know if this happens a lot, but something happened in this episode that reminded me a lot of something that Eccleston does. Um, in the first time they like realized Bat Wolf is chasing them,
mm,
he does this whole thing like it showed up here. It can't be like a coincidence. He does like this whole conspiracy theory, and suddenly goes like, but it's probably nothing. And he
yeah,
does the same thing here with I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember now with what it was, but he it's the same exact thing.
Yeah, I think it's when they're inside. No, because
Oh,
inside the
he's like,
TARDIS, right? I
yes,
think
he's
at the
like,
beginning.
I said this at the edge of the universe, and there's um oh what's the word? Superstitions and this and that, and
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
something doesn't feel right. Oh no, it's gone. Okay.
yeah. That does come. It does happen through. I think every doctor does
Okay,
that at some
okay.
point. It's like great, and like same with Bat Wolf and all. Most of the other doctors have that through line through the whole season. That's something because yeah,
Oh,
they're contained episodes, but there's something happening that's kind of come to a head at some point.
that's something I love about the show, by the
Hmm.
way. It's very much a monster of the week
Yeah,
serialized show, but different to like when we see these shows in the US. I think the through line and the main story is present and moves in every single episode.
yeah.
Like in every single episode, it comes back. We touch on something and we move either the story or the character arcs a little bit more.
Mhm. I think this is very prevalent in one of Matt's mates season. I won't go into it, but there's Tena has it very important in the last season, and then Matt's mates has another one, and I think kind of falls in the other two, and that's why by the time we get to the 13th Doctor, I don't think it hit as much because at least for me, we didn't have that through line through the seasons, kind of just the last one, but at the beginning, it's great, one of the best things. So can't wait. I can't wait to follow your tweets to see where you are, and
I'm
we'll talk
posting
about
weird pictures.
just pictures of I guess the episode you're on. So
Yeah, or sometimes I remember something of a previous episode, and the Doctor has so many fun throwaway lines that mean
yeah,
absolutely nothing. Like even in that Empty Child one, when the kid is cured, his reaction is, "Pop music comes out in 20 years. You're gonna love it." It's like,
yeah. What?
okay.
It's and it. I don't think. Yeah, there was one. I don't know if there was one. December. A lot of times they go to like a famous person where a famous event is gonna happen. They have to stay away, but of course they need to intervene at some point. And there's similar vibes that we cannot kind of tell people everything that's happening.
I
But I love that people just accept them. Yeah, just some weird people showed up. We're just gonna roll with it.
quickly, I love that they go see. I think it's Charles Dickens, the one who wrote
Yeah.
Christmas Carol, and he tells him like you're gonna be huge and whatnot, and Rose is like, should you have told him that information? He's like, he's gonna die in a couple of months.
Yeah. I mean, you, Vincent Van Gogh. Oh,
No, he hasn't showed up. I've heard a lot of that
no,
episode.
that's
So.
why. And that's for Matt Smith. And about
Oh, okay, okay.
that's another heartbreaker for a lot of people.
Oh,
Or
okay.
yeah, heartbreaker, but it will make you cry for good reasons.
And another thing I'm loving of the show, like I can't believe how emotionally invested I am in it. Like
Yeah.
when we get that reveal in the Batwolf episode that the Daleks are all alive and they're like hovering over Earth
Yeah.
and they're ready to go to war, I, I I I was literally like with my jaw on the floor, like, oh, how could this happen? Like, what are we gonna do now? And I was like, I'm freaking out over a bunch of bulky robots screaming exterminate,
Yeah.
like it's driven by weird star sea star things.
Yeah. It's is this the one that, oh, you've been the most dangerous creature in the universe, beaten by stairs. And
By
then
stairs.
the celebrities, there's a little R2. So the other thing I was gonna say, apart from the CGI, it's, at least for myself, I don't pay attention to canon in Doctor Who. This is a
Okay.
time traveling show. Timey wimey, like Tennant says at some point. Where
In Blink. But it's super weird because it's a time travel show. So like in that last episode, like Rose goes away. Why didn't she come back like right when she went away?
Yeah.
Like, of course, because the episode needs to happen and things
Mhm.
need to move along. But it's like it's kind of weird. Like
Yeah,
sometimes.
I don't pay. Do you know how many times they've gone to the edge of the universe? I know today's
Oh,
episode. This is the part. Maybe not. There. Oh, so this is the edge of the universe, and we're seeing a star being born. Okay, and this is the last day on Earth. We're seeing it 4 times. It's always different. I don't care. I just care about the episode.
that's like the first adventure, and it's like this whole thing. It's the last day on Earth, and then we jump like, oh no, it's 800 years later. Everything is like going on. Like what?
Yeah, so I don't care. I just there to
Yeah.
have fun with it. I think if people get too bogged down in those details, that's when you start kind of complaining. But all right, so I'm extremely happy that you're enjoying it after like 5 tries.
I'm loving Dale's comment. So this is real for you. I've been in this much since I was 16. Yep.
Oh,
Suddenly
great.
it's real for me.
Yeah.
But hey, at least I figured it out.
There it is. It took me a while to get to it, and the first time I watched it, I stopped right when Peter Capaldi started. I think I watched his first episode, and I'm like, nah, I'm done. I'm not gonna keep doing this. But then when I did my rewatch last year, his whole seasons or the 3 series, I really enjoyed them. But I didn't come out like, oh yes, this is my Doctor now. But now when I think about some of my favorite moments in Doctor Who, it's with him, and he's a great freak. He has like. Buck actually told me like, oh, he has some of my favorite monologues. And he does. He has some great monologues in his run. So I think everyone knocks it out of the park. I'm really excited for what's about to come.
Do they each have a catchphrase?
Yes. So Alonsi is David Tennant's.
Alonsi.
He'll start using it soon. You'll see. Matt's mates have one. I can't remember what it is. Eccleston, of course, was fantastic. So they're each.
Even when he sees the Dalek.
Just his facial expression, man. He goes through everything. Just those close-ups.
I think he would be a great Joker.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like a cartoony kind of Joker.
All right. So we'll leave it there.
I'm loving the show, and I'm happy to be slowly joining the circle.
All right, we'll keep talking about it. Maybe same thing when you finish a season or something. We'll do a quick recap. And when you started sending all those pictures, I'm like, do I need to start another rewatch? And I'm thinking about it. I might, but there's so many great shows out there. It's difficult to find the time.
And it's super weird, by the way, because I'm also like watching as it airs, so it's like...
right, which is very Star Wars, right? Watch what's happening now, then go back to the past.
Yeah.
All right, so that was it for Doctor Who right now. So real quick, Tony, so you can keep watching Doctor Who. A lot of trailers dropped today or in the past couple of days. Alan reminded me early on the Furiosa trailer also dropped a few days ago. I was saying that I liked it, and I really love the previous movie. I believe I just forgot. I only watched it once. Sorry?
Fury Road.
Fury Road. Great movie. I gotta watch it again. I like this trailer, but I wasn't jumping up and down like a bunch of people. I know you posted that you love this. So am I crazy? Yeah.
I like the first movie. I'm not like one of those people who's like, this movie needs to win every single award. Like, I like it. I've seen it a couple of times. I love this trailer. Like,
Okay.
I you know, at the risk of being, completely wrong in a year or so, I think this is like one of those movies that people will be like, it's saving the box office. Like, I think
Okay.
I think it has the potential to be huge.
And Fury Road was huge. I
It was
remember
huge. Yeah.
people just
It,
going crazy on this
it,
dropping
it
a
was
seven.
it was almost like Avatar like.
Yeah.
I don't think it didn't really quite reach that high, but I think it was like close.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, last Doctor Who thing. Alan, the Sony doesn't resonate wood, and that's something that through every year is like, oh, it's
Sonic.
wood. That Sonic screwdriver. That wood, it's kryptonite for some reason.
Okay, I hadn't
And
noticed that. Okay.
so you'll see us. It'll come up a lot of times. It's get us out of here. Oh, it's wood. I can't. And every Doctor has its own Sonic screwdriver. It's like a lightsaber.
Oh, Tony told me.
Yeah.
It is the one that Tennant has right now the same one that he had.
No, it's a little bit different. I think
Okay.
it's similar to Matt Smith's,
Okay.
but it's that open is a little bit different. And then Capaldi does something different. I'm not gonna spoil it, but he has something different than Whittaker also. Hers is I didn't like hers too much.
I'll just say I'm dying to see the TARDIS change because I hate how it looks when Eccleston has it, and right now David Tennant has the same TARDIS, but I hate it. It looks like a cave. Like.
So I love the current one right now. I love it. The Capaldi one was my favorite before it. I love the ones that are huge and feel expansive and they can move and there's rooms and all that stuff. My least favorite one was Whittaker's. It's too dark.
Really?
If you think it was like pitch black with some orange accents. I didn't like it that much. And then going to this whole white, it's a big change.
I'm excited to get to Whittaker. I know people have told me like the writing is pretty bad on that season. It's really not her; it's just the writing. But it's like the Doctor, next after Eccleston, it was the one that I've seen the least about because I did try with Capaldi, Smith, and Tennant. So I'm kind of excited to get to that.
So
maybe get disappointed.
I'm on the same boat. I mean, she's a great actress and she does what she can with the script. And it's not that the script is bad. To me, she just felt like another human instead of the Doctor.
Oh, really?
You can see now who's the Doctor, and you'll keep seeing every time an alien mentions the Doctor, it's like, oh crap, the Doctor's here. Either we're fucked or we're safe. And this one was, who are you, the Doctor? Like, I don't.
Let it be known that you just cursed and it wasn't me. Let it be known. Let it be known.
Dude, I ran a 5K this morning. I fell asleep. I was outside on my porch an hour ago or an hour and a half listening to Outbound Flight. Dude, I fell asleep. Not because it's bad. I wasn't tired. I fell asleep like 40 minutes into it. I'm like, oh, why is my neck hurting? Oh, because I've been sleeping for 10 minutes. So I'm due one. Plus, I'm going on a trip tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to San Antonio for work.
Oh, you told me.
Yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday. House of the Dragon Season 2, Summer 2024. I am extremely excited. The war between the greens and the black. Dragon said freaking Vagar at the end. Just how huge that dragon is. But,
if you cursed, I'll curse the House of the fucking Dragon. I'm so excited. When I sat on my cubicle that morning and opened my phone while my computer booted up and saw those two posters, I was like, it's coming. Because I reread the story or the portion of the book like after the show ended, and I'm so hyped.
It's just that first season ended in such a way with her just turning around like, no, it's on. You killed my son. This is no longer. And it's just right there. It's like, what was it? I watched it twice. Like, some of the wars that God hates the most, the war between kings, but the bloodiest war is between dragons or something like that. Oh man, it's extremely excited. It's like a 45 or 1 minute teaser, but I'm really ready for that one.
Mo says, "Listen, if Allison and Rhaenyra kiss, everything will be solved," and I 100%
I
agree.
agree.
But if you think,
I thought it was gonna happen in season one. So
if you think about it, like that's how everything goes.
everything,
Like,
right?
if Kylo and Rey kiss from the very beginning, we don't have a trilogy.
We don't have a trailer, but like you
If
said,
Snoke,
because the story needs to happen.
if Snoke and Kylo kissed, we wouldn't have a story. If Luke
Maybe
and
they did. Maybe they
if
did on that matching station with the little cap and his slippers.
if Luke and Snoke kissed, well, nothing would have happened. So
Oh, maybe that's why he wanted to kill Kylo. You kissed Snoke. He was mine. What else dropped? The Boys, season 4, season
you,
3.
you said it looks good.
It looks like The Boys.
Okay, which is
It's
good.
yeah, it's more a vibe thing. Like uh, Starlight has her followers. This other fucker was
Homelander, A-Train.
Homelander. Homelander has his stuff going on. There's new. I haven't watched Gen V, so I don't know if some of those characters are on this in this trailer. I kind of heard that some might show up in the season, but he has some new. What is not superheroes? What are they called?
The Seven.
No, the seven are there. Freaking the Deep is still looking at octopuses,
The
but
Deep is by far my favorite character.
he's so messed up. But
He's a horrible human, but he's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. Well, he has Homelander has a new. I don't know if it's a new girlfriend, a new hero, woman hero. Within kind of pushing him to I'm gonna be with you, gonna kill everyone. So, and
Okay.
his son is just pushing people around through walls and stuff. So, yeah.
Tyler.
And I haven't watched Halo. I didn't watch the first season of Halo because I didn't have Paramount at the time. I heard it wasn't that good. But a season 2 trailer just dropped today. I haven't watched it. I thought it was just gonna be one season because people didn't resonate with it. But
I think it got renewed before people were like, ugh. There's a saying in Spanish, "Moví cielo y tierra." I moved mountains and seas, I guess, to watch the Halo show because Paramount Plus is not available in Puerto Rico. So I had to do a couple things, and the VPN thing, it's not that easy because they detect it. Anyways, and I was so disappointed. Like, Halo is my favorite video game franchise. I love the story of Halo, and they made so many changes to the story that one point was like, why didn't you just make it like generic sci-fi thing? Like, why do you stick the Halo name into it? Like,
I heard it has almost nothing to do with the video game saga, and like same as you. I remember back in 2002, 2004, whatever, going to Boston to visit my brother. He had an Xbox. Hey, let's play Halo. And like, I don't know what this is. I didn't have a next gen at that point. I still have my Sega Dreamcast. I'm not gonna buy this. I fell in love after I figured out the controllers before I was 2 hours just looking at the ceiling. But I love, as soon as I got home, Mom, I need money. I need an Xbox and Halo. And it was my favorite. All those three, the original three, and Halo Reach, and all of those. So when I find it, because Halo, also this being Guillermo del Toro, I think at what point was supposed to do a movie.
No. It was Peter Jackson. Like,
Peter Jackson, sorry.
Alberto, I remember opening El Nuevo Dia and seeing the Halo poster and being like, Lord of the Rings director making Halo movie. I was like, what? And that turned into District 9, which is a phenomenal movie, by the way.
Yeah.
But for me, it's super weird because Halo is so much about, like, yes, it's a fun shooter, but I love the story. I play that entire series every year, and Tony does the same thing. I love the story and the lore. It's very convoluted, but I still love it. But it's so much about, like, Master Chief being the human but behaving like a computer, and Cortana being the computer behaving like a human. So, like, Master Chief, like, his mystery and his facade, like, I'm just a killing machine, is necessary. And here's, like, there's no confusion. He's clearly just a guy because he never puts on his helmet. He makes emotional decisions constantly. So we don't get that arc. So for me, it's like, this is not the story of Halo. Like, yes, it's Spartans and Covenant and whatever, but that's not the story.
So I won't bother.
But you know what, Alberto? I'm not doing videos with laser eyes. I'll just stop watching. And if people like it, good for you. I hope you love it. I love the story of the games.
Speaking of something that I hadn't watched before and I got into after season 2, it was Foundation. I finished Foundation so
Ooh.
far, loved it. The last 4 episodes of season 2 are just keep going and going and going. They're so great.
Okay.
I feel this there's it reminds me of Star Wars a lot. I know the High Republic. If we get a High Republic show done the way of Andor, and what I mean by that it's like the
I get what you're
political,
saying.
like yeah, the Jedi here and Lina So, but let's go to all these other planets done in this style of Andor. That's what it feels like. And there's the space station, and there's two planets that have been at war forever, but
Iram and
they're
Aronovo.
what?
Iram and
Yeah, same
Aronovo.
thing. And they get married and they attack. It's I love it. And
I
love that I finished. Can I guess 2 more years if they do season 3, but
I actually
for
have
me,
a schedule on the shows I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna finish Doctor Who, which I'll probably like in jump around with Dragon Ball
yeah,
Z, which was the show I was watching. But I think
yeah,
it's two shows that are very long, so you can jump
yeah.
around. Then I'm gonna watch Peaky Blinders, which I have not seen the final season yet.
Oh
I
wow.
don't know why, but I just haven't watched it. And then I think I'll jump and finish Foundation
Okay.
because I've liked what I watch. I go a lot to my cousin's house, and he's always watching the show, so I've caught glimpses of
Yeah.
it. So I think I'll like it.
Okay. Dude, for people that like science fiction, Apple TV is killing it. Foundation, Invasion that I watched the second season.
Is it?
Uh,
I didn't hear great things about Invasion. I was excited when I saw a trailer, but I didn't hear really
so
good
the
things.
first season is okay. It's
Okay.
a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be, but I enjoyed watching the whole season. And season 2 came out, which very similar to Halo. I thought because season 1 of Invasion didn't get the buzz that people thought. I thought they were done with it, so I was surprised that a second season came out. But I started watching Foundation first, and now I'm watching the Monarch. This Godzilla MonsterVerse one, which is okay so far. It's
Okay.
interesting, but the time period is basically right after the first Godzilla movie, the Gareth Edwards one, 2015. So we're at that time period. Like King Kong hasn't shown up or anything like that, obviously.
I need
But
to
it's
see Godzilla -1. I've heard
yeah.
nothing but great things about that movie.
So let's talk about Star Wars. Now the director -1, everyone wants him to do a Star Wars movie because he said he grew up watching those movies. Like, no, please, okay, are we gonna
Only
do
for him
this?
to get fired, and people be like, they should stop hiring the hot director. Like,
I don't. We don't learn. It's a vicious cycle. All right, okay, I think we can leave it there for today.
Okay.
So yeah, Doctor Who. That was a show today. I know it says a Star Wars podcast down there, but not today.
It's a Doctor Who show now, and as long as Star Wars is taking its sweet time with content, we'll talk about Doctor Who.
Someone, someone put a meme or something. I can't remember what it was. Or basically, it was like Lucasfilm watching all these trailers drop today for TV shows that are coming like 6 months in the future, and it was someone like, "What are you doing?" Like, no,
I mean, I think
we are
the
waiting.
only news, and it's just a rumor, that is that apparently Skeleton Crew might not be coming out anytime soon, which is super weird.
So I mentioned that before when I did my intro. It's
Oh,
like it's because I'm hearing the Bad Batch. We might be getting something. Sorry, let me refresh. I'm not hearing anything, but people are thinking because the Star Wars Twitter posted a GIF about it. The Kiner brothers said they're finishing up mixing. So it's like maybe Bad Batch is coming sooner than we thought. And then I saw a couple of people saying that actually Skeleton Crew is getting pushed to fall of 2024, which is extremely surprising. I don't know if
I,
it's good or bad, but if that means
I,
the Acolyte comes first, then I'll take
I was listening to Star Wars Explained this morning, and they said maybe it's like a Life Day kind of show, like a
it.
Christmas show, and they're like, no, let's just push it a year. I find that concerning. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they have their reasons or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if you saw they're putting the first season of Only Murders in the Building on ABC.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Maybe they have this show on their hands. Maybe they like it, and Iger is like, I don't know if Disney Plus is the future. Let's see. Let's try these other things. I don't know. And I think Disney Plus and Hulu are merging.
Yeah, I
God
saw
knows
that
what's going down on those offices.
Yeah. above our pay grade and not our business, I guess.
I don't
But
even work for them, so that's not my job. My job is
yeah,
just to critique.
and not even because we don't get paid for this.
No.
Our hobby is to critique.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
My
don't.
job is to audit.
Yeah. And it's so because we know the cast, we know they were at Celebration a couple of months ago. They showed a teaser. It's like it's ready to go.
I'm pretty sure they said fall 20. I'm pretty sure we talked about this.
Yeah,
At
if
some
it
point.
wasn't for the strike, we were supposed to be talking about it today, most likely, and
Yeah.
a whole year.
I saw
We'll
people
see.
still being like, it could still happen. It was like, if it could still happen, if they're gonna like, they're crazy because they haven't promoted like anything like at all.
I know for
Like,
Star Wars,
I'm pretty sure, Alberto, if you go out that room and ask everyone in your house what's the next Star Wars show, they won't mention Skeleton Crew
no, they
because
won't.
and they probably don't even know what it is. We don't even know what it is.
I mean, for years we've been talking about how interesting the marketing for Lucasfilm has been in the past few years. But I think Disney Plus in general, every time I turn it on, there's a new movie there and it says 2023. It's never been announced or nothing anywhere. It's like, oh, three Christmas movies just popped up on Disney Plus. Like, so dude, do you want your big streaming channel to grow? You gotta promote things. You don't, and then
I'm not tired of saying it. Streaming is not here to stay.
I used to be on the other side. Like 5 or 6 years ago, I like streaming is the way, cable is gone the way of the dinosaur. But when every single company has its own channel and you have to pay starts with $5 and now everything is twice what it's like. Apple just bumped it up, Paramount is changing, Netflix, Disney, all this like, dude,
I was just charged. I was checking out my statements recently. I was just charged last week for Disney Plus and for HBO. I was like, I really thought when I saw those charges, I was like, is canceling this like an option? Like, because it's like a lot.
I gotta check my Netflix. For some reason, years ago, I decided I need the 4K HD and I'm pretty sure paying about $25 now. I gotta check that. I
Probably
think,
at that time it was like 15. And you're like, yeah, sure, I'll pay
yeah.
that. And now it's like,
Because I just got a 4K TV at that point. So if I get a 4K TV, I need to watch shows on 4K. The good thing is HBO Max. It's included in my AT&T bill, so at least I don't. It's free, quote unquote. I'm sure they're charging me more for my internet, anyways. But I watched Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny yesterday. Finally,
you hadn't seen it.
that's the only one from the summer that I said I was gonna watch. I finally watched it yesterday.
What did you think? Okay.
I liked it. It's how many are there? 5. This is my 4th one.
Okay.
I think the first hour to me drags a little bit. It wasn't too into it the first hour. The second half, the first half I didn't enjoy that much. Second half was a lot better.
I remember having that critique, watching all of them back to back, in especially those first 3, a little bit in Crystal Skull. The adventure starts like right away. Like we get like a 10-minute intro. Who's everyone? Okay, adventure. Here it takes a while for them to, and they're setting a lot up. I really liked it. I don't think it's like a masterpiece, but it's I think it's definitely better than Crystal Skull, which I don't hate, by the way.
So I enjoy Crystal Skull more than this one. I did a rewatch a few months ago, and I enjoyed Crystal Skull a lot more than I remembered. I didn't, the part of the monkeys and all. There's a few things with mods that could have been changed, but all in all, I had fun watching it. Same thing when I rewatched the prequel trilogy. Like I really love Phantom Menace. I had a lot of fun watching Attack of the Clones. It was the same one with Crystal Skull. Maybe the same one with this one if I watch it. Give it a couple of months or whatever. But I rank the third one first, Last Crusade first. Yeah, I love that movie. Then Raiders. Then I guess it will be Crystal Skull. This one fourth. A last one, Temple of Doom. I don't like Temple of Doom that much. When I did my rewatch, I'm like, I'm not getting it.
I think I'll say Crusade, Raiders of the Lost Ark, maybe Dial of Destiny, Temple of Doom, and Crystal Skull, maybe.
Okay.
I thought Crystal Dial of Destiny was fine. Like I
It's
don't
good.
think
It's
it did. I don't think it did anything offensive. I think
no.
it did a great job, just like leaving it open for the next adventure could come. It probably won't, but it's
Yeah,
there.
yeah. When he grabs that hat at the end. The thing, I love Harrison Ford, but we gotta understand he's almost 80 years old. He can't be doing this. So in some point, some scenes are like, I don't know, man.
But it's weird because I think they address it, and this is a very
Yeah.
different indie. Like that scene when he's like, "Those were my friends that just died." Like,
I did enjoy that part when she's, oh yeah, we got it up. My friend was just killed or murdered. It's like, oh yeah.
cabron Nazi.
He does a freaking great job.
He was
Mickelson.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But so it was a little bit different. But I think they addressed like I'm on this adventure just because I have to be kind of. Versus in Crystal Skull where they're constantly like, "Oh man," and he's not really that old. He could still kick ass, like realistically.
Yeah.
I think that was right around the time when we were like, old people are still cool. Like,
Yeah. All right, we'll bring an end to it with old people are cool as you just turned 30, and I'm complaining about running.
Like he was on Solo like a couple of years after that, and he was awesome.
He was awesome in that one. All right, Alte, thanks for joining us. Thanks to everyone that was on the chat today. We did over an hour with no Star Wars news. It's
Doctor Who!
Doctor Who is the future. All right, I don't know when we'll be back. You're gonna be traveling. You got family
We'll
coming.
talk about it soon.
Yeah,
After we
as
stop.
always, my office is gonna be commandeered in a couple of weeks. So if I do a show, I might have to find somewhere else. But we'll see. So guys, thanks for being here. Stay safe. Be safe. And may the force be with you.